Yes, Mother, I'll get a taxi right away. I'm sorry.
Ah, it's your son, is he? Well, if you've done your duty, Barb, as a mother should, you wouldn't let him spoil a poor girl's flowers and run away without paying.
Go about your business, my girl.
And you wouldn't run off without paying either. There's manners for you.
Taxi, please.
Cheer up, Captain. Bar flower off a poor girl.
I'm sorry, I don't have any change.
Go on, I can change half a crown. Here, take this for tuppence.
No, I really don't have any. Stop. Oh, here's 3 halfpence if it's any use to you.
Thank you, Captain.
There! You be careful. Better give him a flower for it. There's a copper there behind that pillar typing down every blessed word you're saying.
Oh, I ain't done nothing wrong by speaking to the gentleman. Now, I'm a respectable girl, so help me. I've never spoke to him except to ask him to buy flowers.
What's the real blooming noise? What's he doing?
There's a copper taking it down.
Oh, sir, don't let him charge me. You don't know what it means to me. They'll take away my character and drive me on the streets for speaking to gentlemen.
There! Who's hurting you, silly girl? What do you take me for?
Oh, my Bible oath, I never said it.
Do I look like a policeman?
What you take down my words for? How do I know whether you took me down right? You just show me what you wrote about me. it's because I called him Captain. Oh, sir, I meant no harm. Please don't let him lay a charge against me for a word like that.
Charge? I meant no charge. Really, sir, if you are a detective, you need not begin protecting me against molestation by young women until I ask you. Anybody could see that the girl meant no harm.
He ain't a copper. He's a gentleman. Look at his boots.
Come on, all you people down at Chelsea.
Who told you my people come from Chelsea?
Never mind, they do. How do you come to be up so far east? You were born in Lisson Grove.
Oh, what harm is there in me leaving Lisson Grove? It wasn't fit for a pig to live in. Hard to play 4 and 6 a week.
Live where you like, but for heaven's sake, stop making that noise.
I'm a good girl, I am. Do you know where I come from?
Hoxton.
Well, who said I didn't? Blimey, you know everything, you
Tell him where he comes from if you want to go fortune. Cheltenham, Harrow, Cambridge, and India.
Quite right.
He ain't a copper. He's a blooming busybody. That's what he is.
Ask us, do you do this sort of thing for a living on the music halls?
I have thought of that. Perhaps I will someday.
He's no gentleman, he ain't. To interfere with a poor girl.
But how do you do it, if I may ask?
Well, simple phonetics. The science of speech. That's my profession, also my hobby. Anyone can spot an Irishman or a Yorkshireman by his brogue. I can place a man within 6 miles. I can place him within 2 miles in London. Sometimes, as in the case of this girl, within 2 streets.
Unmanly coward. Let him mind his own business and leave a poor girl.
Woman, cease this detestable boo-hooing instantly.
I've a right to be here if I like. Same as
A
you.
woman who utters such depressing and disgusting sounds has no right to be anywhere, no right to live. Remember that you are a human being with a soul and the divine gift of articulate speech. That your native language is the language of Shakespeare and Milton and the Bible. And don't sit there crooning like a bilious pigeon. Look, a prisoner of the gutter. Condemned by every syllable she utters. By right she should be taken out and hung for the cold-blooded murder of the English tongue. Ow! Ow! Heavens, what a noise. This is what the British population calls an elementary education.
Come, sir, I think you picked a poor example.
Did I? Hear them down in Soho Square, dropping H's everywhere, speaking English any way they like. You, sir, did you go to school? Would you take me for a fool? No, I'm talking tape instead of tyke. Hear a Yorkshireman, or worse, hear a Cornishman converse. I'd rather hear a choir singing flat. Chickens cackling in a barn, just like this one.
Go.
God. I ask you, sir, what sort of word is that? It's ow and gone that keep her in her place. Not her wretched clothes and dirty face. Why can't the English teach their children how to speak? This verbal class distinction by now should be antique. If you spoke as she does, sir, instead of the way you do, why, you might be selling flowers too.
I beg your pardon.
An Englishman's way of speaking absolutely classifies him. The moment he talks, he makes some other Englishman despise him. One common language I'm afraid you'll never get. Oh, why can't the English learn to set a good example to people whose English is painful to your ears? The Scots and the Irish leave you close to tears. There even are places where English completely disappears. In America, they haven't used it for years. Why can't the English teach their children how to speak? Norwegians learn Norwegian, the Greeks are taught their Greek. In France, every Frenchman knows his language from A to Z. The French never care what they do, actually, as long as they pronounce it properly. Arabians learn Arabian, the speed of summer lightning. The Hebrews learn it backwards, which is absolutely frightening. If you use proper English, you're regarded as a freak. Oh, why can't the English? Why can't the English learn to speak? pass her off as a duchess at an embassy ball. And even get her a job as a lady's maid or a shop assistant, which requires better English.
Here, what's that you say?
Yes, you squashed cabbage leaf. Disgrace to the noble architecture of these columns, you incarnate insult to the English language. I could pass you off as the Queen of Sheba.
You don't believe that, do you, Captain?
Oh, well, anything is possible. I myself am a student of Indian dialects.
Would you know Colonel Pickering, the author of Spoken Sanskrit?
I am Colonel Pickering.
No.
Yes, who are you?
Henry Higgins?
No.
Yes, author of Higgins Universe Alphabet.
I came from India to meet you.
I was going to India to meet you.
Higgins.
Pickering. And where are you staying?
At the Carlton.
No, you're not. You're staying at 27A Wimpole Street. Come with me and we'll have a jaw over supper.
Right you are.
You know, Indian dialects have always fascinated me.
Bar flower, kind sir. I'm short for me lodging.
Liar, you said you could change half a crown.
You ought to be stuffed with nails, you ought here, take the old blooming basket for sixpence.
Ah, church. A reminder. How many are there, actually?
How many what?
Indian dialects.
Should you stand up, gentlemen? We got a bloomin' heiress in our hands.
Would you be looking for a good butler in either?
Oh, well, you won't do.
It's rather dull in town, I'll think I'll take me to Carrie.
The missus wants to open up the castle in Capri.
The doctor recommends a quiet summer boy to see.
Wouldn't it be lovely?
Where you bound for this spring, Eliza? Biarritz?
All I want is you somewhere far away from the cold I have. If one enormous chair, wouldn't it be lovely? Lots of chocolate to eat, lots of cow making lots of meat. Warm face, warm hands, warm feet, and wouldn't it be lovely? Oh, so lovely sitting absolutely still. I would never budge till spring crept over me windowsill. Someone doing resting on my knee. Lovely, lovely, lovely.
you want to go out for? Now, and me daughter Eliza will be along soon, and she ought to be good for £1/crown for a father what loves her.
Loves her? That's the love. You ain't been near her for months.
What's that got to do with it? What's £1/crown after all I give her?
When did you ever give her anything?
Anything? I give her everything. I give her the greatest gift a human being can give to another, life. I introduced her to this here planet, I did. This lovely world with all its wonders and marvels, the sun that shines, the moon that glows. I got to walk through on a fine spring night, the old ruddy city of London to roam about and selling her blooming flowers. I give her all that, and then I disappears and I leaves her on her own to enjoy it. Now, if that ain't worth £1/crown now and again, I'll take off my belt and give her what for.
You got a good heart, Alfie.
Yeah.
But if you want that £1/crown from Eliza, you've got to have a good story to go with it.
Leave that to me, my boy. Good morning, George.
Not a brass bar.
Oh, let me there. Good morning, Johnny.
Not a brass Barbie.
Oh, there she is, Eliza. What a surprise.
Not a brass farthing.
Yeah, Eliza.
I ain't gonna type me order and wages and let you pass them on to a bloody pub keeper.
Come on, Eliza. You wouldn't have the heart to send me home to your stepmother without a bit of liquid protection.
Stepmother? Stepmother indeed.
Well, I'm willing to marry her. It's me that suffers by it. Oh, I'm a slave to that woman, Eliza. Come on, Eliza. Slip your old dad £1/crown to go home on.
Well, I had a bit of luck myself tonight. So here, but don't keep coming round counting £1/crowns from me.
Thank you, Eliza! You're a noble daughter! You see, I told you not to go home, boys. All it takes is faith, hope, and a little bit of luck. The Lord above gave man an arm of iron, so he could do his job and never shirk. But God gave man an arm of iron, but with a little bit of luck, with a little bit of luck, someone else will do the thinking work. With a little bit, come on, boys, with a little bit, with a little bit of luck, you'll never work. The Lord above made liquor for temptation, to see if man could turn away from sin. The Lord above made liquor for temptation, but with a little bit of luck, with a little bit of luck, when temptation comes your way, right there. With a little bit, that's it, boys, with a little bit of luck, you get right in. Oh, you can walk the straight and narrow, but with a little bit of luck, you'll run a whack. The gentle sex was made for man to marry, to share his nest and see his food is cold. The gentle sex was made for man to marry, but with a little bit of luck, with a little bit of luck, you can have it all and not get hurt. With a little bit, with a little bit, with a little bit of luck, you won't get old. With a little bit, with a little bit, with a little bit of
I say, Higgins, it's a fearful strain listening to all these battle sounds. I'm quite done up for this afternoon.
Mr. Higgins,
What is it, Mrs. Pierce?
a young woman wants to see you, sir.
The young woman. What does she want? Has she an interesting accent?
Oh, something dreadful, sir.
Let's have her in. Show her in, Mrs. Pierce.
Very well, sir.
This is rather a bit of luck.
I'll show you how I make records. We'll set her talking, then I'll take her down in Bell's visible speech, then in broad Romic, and then we'll get her on the phonograph so that you can turn her on as often as you like.
This is the young woman, sir.
Oh, no! This is the girl I jotted down last night. She's no use. Be off with you. I don't want you.
You shouldn't be so saucy. You ain't heard what I come for yet. Did you tell him? I come in a taxi.
Nonsense, girl. What do you think a gentleman like Mr. Higgins cares what you came in?
Oh, we are proud. We ain't above giving lessons, not him. I heard him say so. Well, I ain't come here to ask for any compliment. If my money's not good enough, I can go elsewhere.
Good enough for what?
Well, good enough for you. Now you know, don't you? I've come to have lessons, I have. And to pay for them too, make no mistake.
Well, what do you expect me to say to you?
Well, if you was a gentleman, you might ask me to sit down, I think. Don't I tell you, I'm bringing your business.
Pickering, should we ask Miss Baggage to sit down, or should we throw her out of the window?
Ah, what won't be called a baggage when I've offered to pay, not any lady.
But what is it you want, my girl?
I want to be a lady in a flower shop. Instead of selling flowers at the corner of Tottenham Court Road. Well, they won't take me unless I can talk more genteel. Well, he said he could teach me. Here I am, ready to pay. I'm not asking any favour and he treats me as if I was dirt. Well, I know what lessons cost as well as you do and I'm ready to pay.
How much?
Ah, now you're talking. I thought you'd come off it when you saw a chance of getting back a bit of what you chucked at me last night. You did a drop in, and you?
Sit down.
If you're going to make a compliment, I'll...
Sit down!
Sit down, girl. Do as you're told.
What is your name?
Liza. Doolittle.
Won't you sit down, Miss Doolittle?
Don't mind if I do.
How much do you propose to pay me for the lessons?
I know what's right. Yeah, a lady friend of mine gets French lessons for 18 pence an hour from a real French gentleman. Now, I know you wouldn't have the face to ask me the same for teaching me my own language as you would for French, so I won't give more than a shilling. Take it or leave it.
You know, Pickering, if you consider a shilling not as a simple shilling, but as a percentage of this girl's income, it works out as fully equivalent to 60 or 70 pounds from a millionaire. By George, it's the biggest offer I ever had.
60 pounds? No, I never offered you 60 pounds. Never thought I'd get 60
Now
pounds.
hold your tongue.
I ain't got no 60 pounds.
Don't cry, you silly girl. Sit down. Nobody's going to touch your money.
Somebody's going to touch you with a broomstick if you don't stop snivelling. Now sit down.
Wow. Who would think you was my father?
Here,
What's this for?
to wipe your eyes. To wipe any part of your face that feels moist. Remember, that's your handkerchief and that's your sleeve. Don't mistake the one for the other if you wish to become a lady in a shop.
Higgins, I'm interested. You know your boast that you could pass her off as a duchess at an embassy ball? I'll say you're the greatest teacher alive if you can make that good. I'll bet you all the expenses of the experiment you can't do it. And I'll even pay for the lessons.
Ow, you're real good. Thank you, Captain.
It's almost irresistible. She's so deliciously low. So horribly dirty.
I like dirty. I wash my face and hands before I come, Auntie.
I'll take it. I'll make a duchess of this draggle-tailed gutter snipe. I'll start today, now, this moment. Take her away and clean her, Mrs. Pierce. Sandpaper if it won't come off any other way. Is there a good fire in the kitchen?
Yes, but...
Take all her clothes off and burn them. Come over and order some new ones. Wrap her in brown paper till they come.
Good girl I am, and I know what the likes of you are, I do.
You want none of your slum prudery here, young woman. You've got to learn to behave like a duchess. Take her away, Mrs. Pierce. If she gives you any trouble, wallop her.
Police are well. I've got no place to put her.
Put her in the dustbin.
Sorry, you can't take a girl up like that as if you were picking up a pebble on the beach.
Why not?
She may be married. Gone.
There, as the girl very properly says, gone.
Who'd marry me?
By George, Eliza. The streets will be strewn with the bodies of men shooting themselves for your sake before I know
Here I'm going. He's chummy, he is. I don't want no balm he's teaching me.
Oh, indeed, I'm mad, am I? Very well, Mrs. Pierce, you needn't order the new clothes for her. Throw her out.
Stop, Mr. Higgins. I won't allow it. Go home to your parents, girl.
I ain't got no parents.
There you are, she ain't got no parents. The girl doesn't belong to anybody, and she's no use to anybody but me.
Does it occur to you, Higgins, that the girl has some feelings?
Oh, no, I don't think so. Feelings that we need to bother about.
I've got my feelings, same as anyone else.
Mr. Higgins, I must know on what terms the girl is to be here. What is to become of her when you've finished your teaching?
But what is to become of her if I leave her in the gutter? Answer me that, Mrs. Pierce.
That's her business, not yours, Mr. Higgins.
Well, when I'm done with her, we can throw her back into the gutter, and then it'll be her own business again.
Oh, you've no feeling, aren't you? You don't care for nothing but yourself here, right? Enough of this. Come and go. You ought to be ashamed of yourself, you whore.
Eliza!
Ah!
Have some chocolates.
How do I know what might be in them? I've heard of girls being drugged by the like of you.
Pledge of good faith, Eliza. I eat one half. You eat the other. You shall have boxes of them. Barrels of them every day. You shall live on them, eh?
Wouldn't have I said it? I'm too lazy to take it out of my mouth.
Excuse me, Higgins, but I really must interfere. Mrs. Pierce is quite right. If this girl is to put herself in your hands for 6 months for an experiment in teaching, she must understand thoroughly what she's doing.
Eliza, you are to stay here for the next 6 months, learning how to speak beautifully, like a lady in a florist's shop. If you're good and do whatever you are told, you shall sleep in a proper bedroom and have lots to eat and money to buy chocolates and take rides in taxis. If you're naughty and idle, you will sleep in the back kitchen among the black beetles and be walloped by Mrs. Pierce with a broomstick. At the end of 6 months, you shall go to Buckingham Palace in a carriage, beautifully dressed. If the king finds out you're not a lady, you'll be taken by the police to the Tower of London, where your head will be cut off as a warning to other presumptuous flower girls. But if you are not found out, you shall have a present of 7 and 6 to start life with as a lady in a shop. If you refuse this offer, you'll be the most ungrateful, wicked girl, and the angels will weep for you. Now you're satisfied, Pickering. Could I put it more plainly or fairly, Mrs. Pierce?
Come with me, Eliza.
That's right, Mrs. Pierce. Bundle her off to the bathroom.
You're a great bully, you are. I won't stay here if I don't like. And I won't let nobody wallop me.
Don't answer back, girl.
I don't know what I was letting myself in for. I would never come up here. I've always been a good girl, and I'm working for the whole. God, what's this? Is this where you wash your clothes?
This is where we wash ourselves, Eliza, and where I'm going to wash you.
You expect me to get into that and wet myself clothes?
Don't you want to be clean and sweet and proper like a lady?
No, I couldn't. I dursn't. It's not natural. No, I've never took all my clothes before. It's not right. It's not decent.
So you take off all your clothes every night when you go to bed?
No! Why should I?
What's with you and undressed?
No! You don't know what the cold is to me. Oh, if only I know what a dreadful thing it is to be clean. I'm never a cold.
Nonsense. Here, step in and tell me whether it's hot enough for you. Oh, it won't. Oh, please.
6 months, in 3 if she has a good ear and a quick tongue. I'll take her anywhere and pass her off as anything. I'll make a queen of that barbarous wretch.
Higgins, forgive the bluntness, but if I'm to be in this business, I shall feel responsible for the girl. I hope it's clearly understood that no advantage is to be taken of her position.
What? That thing? Sacred, I assure you.
Now, Higgins, you know what I mean. This is no trifling matter. Are you a man of good character where women are concerned?
Have you ever met a man of good character where women were concerned?
Yes, very frequently.
Well, I haven't. I find that the moment I let a woman make friends with me, she becomes jealous, exacting, suspicious, and a damned nuisance. I find that the moment I let myself become friends with a woman, I become selfish and tyrannical. So here I am, a confirmed old bachelor and likely to remain so. After all, Pickering, I'm an ordinary man who desires nothing more than just the ordinary chance to live exactly as he likes and do precisely what he wants. An average man am I, of no eccentric whim, who wants to live his life free of strife, doing whatever he thinks is best for him. Just an ordinary man. But let a woman in your life, and your serenity is through. She'll redecorate your home from the cellar to the dome, then get onto the enthralling fun of overhauling you. Oh, let a woman in your life, and you are up against the wall. Make a plan and you will find she has something else in mind, and so rather than do either, you do something else that neither likes at all. If you want to talk of Keats or Milton, she only wants to talk of love. You go to see a play or ballet and spend it searching for her glove. Oh, let a woman in your life, and you invite eternal strife. Let them buy their wedding bands for those anxious little hands. I'd be equally as willing for a dentist to be drilling than to ever let a woman in my life. I'm a very gentle man, even-tempered and good-natured, whom you never hear complain, who has the milk of human kindness by the quart in every vein. A patient man am I, down to my fingertips, the sort never could, ever would let an insulting remark escape his lips. Just a very gentle man. But let a woman in your life, and you are plunging in a knife. Let the others of my sex tie the knot around their necks. I prefer a new edition of the Spanish Inquisition than to ever let a woman in my life. I'm a quiet living man who prefers to spend his evenings in the silence of his room, who likes an atmosphere as restful as an undiscovered tomb, a pensive anima of philosophic joys, who likes to meditate, contemplate, free from humanity's mad, inhuman noise. Just a quiet living man. But let a woman in your life, and your sabbatical is through. In a line that never ends, come an army of her friends, come to jabber and to chatter and to tell her what the matter is with you. She'll have a booming, boisterous family who will descend on you en masse. She'll have a large Wagnerian mother with a voice that shatters glass. Oh, let a woman in your life. Let a woman in your life. Let a woman in your life. I shall never let a woman in my life.
butter you have.
What type of butter?
Your daughter Eliza.
What are you talking about?
Oh, he don't know.
What?
He's your own father and he don't know. I've moved in with a swell, Eliza has. Left here in a taxi, all by herself, smart as pants, and ain't been home for 3 days.
Go on!
Then I get a message from her this morning. She says she wants her things sent over to 27 Hay, Wimpole Street, care of Professor Higgins. And what things does she want? A bird cage and a Chinese fan. But, she says, never mind about sending any clothes.
I always know she had a career in front of her! Everybody! We're in for a booze-up tonight! The sun is shining on Alfred P. Doolittle! A man was made to help support his children, which is the right and proper thing to do. A man was made to help support his children, but with a little bit of luck, with a little bit of luck, they'll go out and start supporting you.
He says you have his daughter here.
I'm afraid I've got to tell you that the trouble's beginning already.
Send the blackguard in.
Very well, sir.
But he may not be a blackguard, Higgins.
Nonsense, of course he's a blackguard. We may get something interesting out of him.
About the girl.
No, I mean his dialect.
Doolittle, sir.
Professor Higgins.
Here.
Morning, Governor. I come about a very serious matter, Governor.
Born in Hounslow, mother Welsh, I should imagine. What do you want, Doolittle?
I want me daughter. That's what I want, see?
Of course you do. I'm glad to see you have some sort of family feeling left. Your daughter's in the next room. Take her away at once.
What?
Take her away. You suppose I'm going to keep your daughter for you?
No, look here. Is this reasonable? Is it fairity? The girl belongs to me. You got her. Where do I come in, eh?
How dare you come here and attempt to blackmail me?
What?
You sent her here on purpose.
Don't take her men off like that, Governor.
The police shall take you up. This is a plot to extort money by threats. I shall telephone the police.
And I asked you for a glass farthing, eh? I'll leave it to this gentleman here, eh? Have I said a word about money?
What else did you come for?
Well, I'll tell you, Governor, if you'll only let me get a word in. I'm willing to tell you. I'm wanting to tell you. I'm waiting to tell you.
Pickering, this chap has a certain natural gift for rhetoric. That's the Welsh strain in him. How did you know Eliza was here if you didn't send her?
She sent back for her luggage, yeah, and I got to hear about it. She said she didn't want no clothes. Now, what was I to think from there? I ask you, as a parent, what was I to think?
So you came to rescue her from worse than death.
Just so, Governor, that's right.
Mrs. Pierce, Eliza's father's come to take her away. Give her to me.
Now, wait a minute! Wait a minute! Governor, you and me as men of the world.
Oh, men of the world. Oh, you better go, Mrs. Pierce.
I think so indeed, sir.
Governor, I've taken a sort of fancy to you. And if you want the girl, I'm not so set on having her back home again, but what I might be open to is an arrangement. All I ask is me rights as a father, and you're the last man alive to expect me to let her go for nothing. Or I can see you're one of the straight sort, Governor. Well, what's a £5 note to you, and what's Eliza to me?
I think you ought to know, Doolittle, that Mr. Higgins' intentions are entirely honourable.
Of course they are, Governor. If I thought they wasn't, I'd ask 50.
Do you mean to say you would sell your daughter for £50?
Have you no morals, man?
No, can't afford them. And neither could you if he was poor as me. Not that I'm in any harm, mind you, but if Eliza's going to get a bit out of this, why not me too, eh? Look at it my way. What am I? I ask you, Governor, what am I? I'm one of the undeserving poor. That's what I am. Now, think what that means to a man. It means I'm up against middle-class morality for all the time. If there's ever anything going, and I'll put in for a bit of it, it's always the same story. You're undeserving, so you can't have it. But my needs is as great as the most deserving widow who got money out of 6 different charities in 1 week for the death of the same husband. I don't need less than a deserving man, I need more. I don't eat less hearty than he does, and I drink a lot more. I'm playing straight with you. I ain't pretending to be deserving. I'm undeserving. And I mean to go on being undeserving. I like it, that's the truth. But will you take advantage of a man's nature to do him out the price of his own daughter? What he's brought up, fed and clothed, for the sweat of his own brow, till she's grown big enough to be interesting to you two gentlemen. Is £5 unreasonable? I put it to you, and I'll leave it to you.
You know, Peggy, if we were to take this man in hand for the next 6 months, he could choose between a seat in the cabinet and a popular pulpit in Wales.
No, thank you, kindly, Governor. No, undeserving poverty is my right.
He's got to give him a fiver.
He'd make bad use of it, I'm afraid. So, Governor, I won't. There won't be a penny of it left by Monday. Just one good spree for myself and the missus, giving pleasure to ourselves and employment to others. You couldn't spend it better.
This is irresistible. Let's give him 10.
No! And the missus wouldn't have the heart to spend 10, sir. £10 is a lot of money. It makes a man feel prudent like and then look by the happiness. No, you give me what I ask for. Not a penny less, not a penny more.
I'd rather draw the line at encouraging this sort of immorality. Now, Doolittle, why don't you marry this missus of yours? After all, marriage is not so frightening. You married Eliza's mother.
Who tells you that?
Pickering, if we listen to this man for another minute, we shall have no convictions left. £5, I think.
Thank you, Governor. Good morning. Thank you.
I won't say these bloody vows.
It's Eliza! Oh, I never thought she'd been up so good looking. Oh, she does me credit, don't she, Governor?
Yeah. What you doing here?
You hold your tongue. Don't you give these gentlemen none of your lip, Governor. If you have any trouble with her, you give her a few licks and a scrap. That's the way to improve her mind. Good morning, Governor. Good morning. Cheerio, Eliza.
By George, there's a man for you. A philosophical genius of the first water. Mrs. Pierce, write to Mr. Ezra D. Wallingford and tell him if he wants a lecturer to get in touch with Mr. Alfred P. Doolittle. Common dustman, but one of the most original moralists in England.
Yes, sir. Here. What does he
Pickering. As a military man, you should know that. Training is what she needs. Much better to leave her, or she'll be turning to you for sympathy.
All right, if you insist, but have a little patience with her, Higgins.
Of course. Say A.
You ain't got no heart, you ain't.
A.
I.
A. A. It's by the A. Eliza, I promise you will pronounce your vowels correctly before this day is out. Will there be no lunch, no dinner, and no chocolates?
Just you white in Higgins, just you white. You'll be sorry, but your tears will be too late. You'll be broken all over money, would I help ya? Don't be funny, just you white in Higgins, just you white. Just you white in Higgins till you're sick. And you scream to fetch your doctor double quick. Well, I'll be all for second later and go straight to the theatre. Henry Higgins, just you white. Ooh, Henry Higgins, just you white till we're swimming in the sea. Ooh, Henry Higgins, and you get a grand for little white from me. When you yell you're gonna drown, I'll get dressed and go to town. Henry Higgins, Henry Higgins, just you white. One day I'll be famous, I'll be proper and prim. Go to St. James so often I will call it St. Jim. One evening the king will say, Eliza, old thing, I want all of England your praises to sing. Next week, on the 20th of May, I proclaim Eliza Dooley will die. All the people will celebrate the glory of you, and whatever you wish and want, I gladly will do. Don't thanks a lot, King says lying a man around bread, but all I want is Henry Higgins' head. Don't seize the king with a stroke. God run and bringing in the bloke. And we'll march you, Henry Higgins, to the war. And the king will tell me, Eliza, sound the call. As they rise their rifles higher, I'll shout, ready, aim, fire. Henry Higgins, down you go, Henry Higgins, just you wait.
Try the next one, Eliza.
The rain in Spain stays mainly in the plain.
The rain in Spain stays mainly in the plain.
Didn't I say that?
No, Eliza, you didn't say that. You didn't even say that. Every night before you get into bed, where you used to say your prayers, I want you to repeat, the rain in Spain stays mainly in the plain 50 times. You'll get much further with the Lord if you learn not to offend his ears. Now for your H's, Pickering is going to be ghastly.
Control yourself, Higgins. Give the girl a chance.
Of course. No one expects you to get it right the first time. Right. Watch closely, Eliza. You see this flame? where every time you say your H properly, the flame will waver. Every time you drop your H, the flame will remain stationary. That's how you'll know you've done it correctly. In time, your ear will hear the difference. Now, repeat after me. In Hertford, Hereford, and Hampshire, hurricanes hardly ever happen.
In Hertford, Hereford, and Hampshire, hurricanes hardly ever. Shall I do it again?
No, please, no. Start from the very beginning. Do this. Ha, 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 ha.
Ha. Ha. Ha. Ha.
Go on, go on.
Ha. Ha.
It's the same thing holds true in Indian Pickering. The peculiar habit of not only dropping a letter, like the letter H, but using it where it shouldn't be. Like heaven instead of ever. Well, go on, go on.
Professor begins. Professor begins. Night and day he slays away. Professor begins. All day long on his feet, up and down until he's numb. Doesn't rest, doesn't eat, doesn't touch
How kind of you. How kind of you to let me come.
How kind of you to let me come.
No, kind of you. It's just like cup of tea. Kind of you, cup of tea, kind of you. Say cup of tea.
Cup of tea.
Cup of tea. Awfully good cake. I wonder where Mrs. Pierce gets it.
First rate. And the strawberry tart's delicious. And have you tried the blind cake?
Try it again, Eliza. A cup of tea. A cup of tea.
A cup of tea.
Put your tongue forward until it squeezes against the top of your lower teeth. Now say cup.
Cup.
Now say of.
Of.
Now say cup, 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 of.
Cup, 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 cup.
Yum, 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 yum. My turn. That was a glorious tea, Higgins. Do finish the strawberry tart. I couldn't eat another thing.
No thanks, old chap, really.
Oh, it's a shame to waste it.
I won't go to waste. I know someone who's immensely fond of strawberry tarts. Officer!
Professor begins. Professor begins. On he goes against all Professor begins. 9 p.m., 10 p.m., on through midnight every night. 1 a.m., 2 a.m.,
4, 5, 6 marbles. There we are. Now, I want you to read this and enunciate each word just as if the marbles were not in your mouth. With blackest moss, the flower pots were thickly crusted, one and all. Each word as clear as a bell.
I say, Higgins, are those marbles really necessary?
If they were necessary for Demosthenes, they're necessary for Eliza Doolittle. Go on, Eliza. I cannot understand a word, not a word.
I say, Higgins, perhaps the poem's too difficult for the deaf. Why don't you try a simpler one like the Owl and the Pussycat? That's a damn fine bird.
Pickering, I cannot hear the girl! What's the matter? Why did you stop? Well, that's all right. I've plenty more. Open your mouth.
Professor begins.
the plain.
I can't. I'm so tired.
For God's sake, Higgins, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. Do be reasonable.
I'm always reasonable. Eliza, if I can go on with a blistering headache, you can.
I've an headache too.
Eliza, I know you're tired. I know your head aches. I know your nerves are as raw as meat in a butcher's window. But think what you're trying to accomplish. Think what you're dealing with. The majesty and grandeur of the English language. It's the greatest possession we have. The noblest sentiments that ever flowed in the hearts of men are contained in its extraordinary, imaginative, and musical mixtures of sounds. That's what you've set yourself to conquer, Eliza. And conquer it you will. Try it again. What was that?
The rain in Spain stays mainly in the plain.
Again.
The rain in Spain stays mainly in the plain.
I think she's got it. I think she's got it.
Rain in Spain stays mainly in the plain.
By George, she's got it! By George, she's got it! Now, once again, where does it rain?
On the plain, on the plain.
And where is that soggy plain?
In Spain, in Spain.
The rain in Spain stays raining in the plain. The rain in Spain stays raining in the plain. In Hartford, Hereford, and Hampshire.
Paddington's hardly had
to try her out.
Mr. Higgins, it is 3 o'clock in the morning. Are you feeling all right?
Quite well, thank you, Mrs. Pierce. And you? Splendid. Let's test her in public and see how she fares. Right. Let's take her to the races.
The races?
Yes, my mother's box at Ascot.
You consult her mother first, of course.
Of course. No, we'll surprise her. Let's go straight to bed. First thing in the morning, we'll go off and buy her a gown. Go on with your work, Eliza.
But Mr. Higgins, it's early in the morning.
What better time to work than early in the morning? Where does one buy a lady's gown?
Whiteley's, of course.
How do you know that?
Common knowledge.
We mustn't get her anything too flowery. I despise those gowns with a sort of weed here and a weed there. Something simple, modest, and elegant is what's called for. Perhaps with a sack.
Eliza, I don't care what Mr. Higgins says. You must put down your books and go to bed. Bed, bed. I couldn't go to bed. My head's too light to try to sit down. Sleep, sleep. I couldn't sleep tonight. Not for all the jewels in the crown. I could have danced all night. I could have danced all night and still have begged for more. I could have spread my wings and done a
had to come, Mrs. Higgins. You see, he's taking the girl to the annual embassy ball, and he wanted to try her out first.
I beg your pardon.
The annual embassy ball.
No, the annual embassy ball. What girl?
Oh, well, it's quite simple, really. You see, one night I went to the opera at Covent Garden to hear one of my favourite operas, Aida. And as I was coming out, incidentally, they didn't do Aida that night. No, they did Götterdämmerung instead. I'd never heard Götterdämmerung before. By George, that's a rackety.
What am I to go?
Ah, yes, look. As I was coming out, I met your son, Henry, who in turn met Miss Doolittle, who now lives with Henry.
Lives with him? Is it a love affair?
Heavens, no. She's a flower girl. He picked her up off the curbstone.
Flower girl.
Higgins said, Pickering, you see this girl? In 6 months, I could make a duchess of her.
Charles, you better stay by the car. I may well be leaving abruptly.
Who should be here is here. What a smashing, positively dashing spectacle the Ascot only day. As the gaze on all the horses waiting for the cue to fly away. What a ripping, absolutely ripping moment at the Ascot only day. Horses rushing, faces flushing, heartbeats speed up. I've never been so keyed up. Every second now, going to run. Harker bell is ringing, they are springing forward. Look. It has begun. What a frenzied moment that was! Did they maintain an exhausting pace? 'Twas a flipping, absolutely chilling running of the Ascot only race. Mother! Ah, you do look nice.
Henry, what a disagreeable surprise.
Excuse me, Mrs. Higgins, I must fetch her.
Henry, I'm most provoked. I hear you brought a common flower girl from Covent Garden.
Darling, she'll be all right. I've taught her to speak properly, and she has strict orders as to her behaviour. She's to keep to 2 subjects, the weather and everybody's health. Over a long, darling, you'll be quite sick.
Cease to talk about our health and aspects.
But you have to talk about
And
something.
you're not even dressed properly.
I changed my shirt.
Where's the girl now?
Being pinned. Some of the clothes we bought her didn't quite fit. I told Pickering we should have taken her with us.
Ah, Mrs. Eynsford Hill.
Oh, damn, all these people with you.
Mrs. Higgins, is this your celebrated son?
I'm afraid my celebrated son has no manners.
The devil could they be?
Oh, Colonel Pickering, just in time for tea.
Ah, Mrs. Higgins, thank you. May I introduce Miss Eliza Doolittle?
My dear Miss Doolittle.
How kind of you to let me come.
I'm delighted, Miss Doolittle. May I introduce Lord and Lady Boxington, Miss Eliza Doolittle.
How do you do?
How do you do?
How do you do?
How?
And Mrs. and Miss Eynsford Hill, Miss Eliza Doolittle.
How do you do?
How? How do you do?
And Peggy Eynsford Hill.
How do you do?
How do you do? Miss Doolittle.
Good afternoon, Professor Higgins.
The first race was very exciting, Miss Doolittle. I'm so sorry you missed it.
Will it rain, do you think?
The rain in Spain, they say, stays mainly in the plain, but in Harvard, Connecticut hardly ever had rain.
How awfully funny!
What's wrong with that, young man? I bet I got it right.
Smashing!
I do hope there won't be any unseasonably cold spells. It brings on so much influenza, and our whole family is susceptible to it.
My aunt died of influenza. So they said. But it is my belief they've done the old woman in.
Darling, hurry.
Yes, Lord love you. Why should she die of influenza when she come through diphtheria right enough the year before? Fairly blue with it she was. They all thought she was dead, but my father, he kept ladling gin down her throat until she came to so sudden that she bit the bowl off the spoon.
Dear me!
Now, what call would a woman with that strength in her have to die of influenza? And what become of her new straw hat that should have come to me? Somebody pinched it, and what I say is, them as pinched it, done her in.
Done her in, did you say?
Oh, it's a new small talk. To a person, it means to kill them.
Surely you don't believe your aunt was killed.
Do I not? Them she lived with would have killed her for a hat pin, let alone a hat.
Can't have been right for your father to pour spirits down her throat like that. It might have killed her.
Not her. Jim was mother's milked. Besides, he poured so much of it down his own throat that he knew the good of it. Yeah, what are you sniffing at?
Oh, the new small talk, you do it so awfully well.
If I was doing it proper, what was you laughing at? I haven't said anything I oughtn't, have I?
Not at all, my dear.
That's a mercy anyhow. What I always say...
I don't suppose it's enough time. My dear.
I have a bet. On number 7. I should be so happy if you would take it. You'll enjoy the race ever so much more.
That's very kind of you.
His name is Dover.
Dover. Dover.
There they are again, lining up to run. Now they're holding steady, they are ready for it. Look! It has begun.
Henry, you're not serious. You can't expect to take her to the embassy ball.
Don't you think she's ready for it?
No, dear, she's ready for a canal barge. If you suppose for one moment she doesn't give herself away with every sentence she utters, you must be perfectly cracked about her.
Her language being a little
I
refined.
advise you to give up now and not put yourself in this poor girl through any more.
Give it up. Why, it's the most absorbing experiment I've ever tackled. Pickering and I have tried with every possible sort of sound that a human being can make. Things it took me years to get hold of, that she picks them up in a shot. It fills our whole lives. Teaching Eliza, listening to Eliza, dressing Eliza, inventing new Elizas.
What a pretty pair of babies you are, playing with your live doll.
Officer, I know this is Wimpole Street, but could you tell me where 27A is? Right there, sir. Thank you. Are those for sale?
Yes, sir. A shilling.
Here.
Thank you kindly, sir.
Isn't it a heavenly day? When she mentioned how her aunt bit off the spoon, she completely dug me in, and my heart went on a journey to the moon. When she told about her father and the gin, and I never saw a more enchanting farce than the moment when she shouted, "Oh, yeah, below
Yes, sir.
Is Miss Doolittle at home?
Who shall I say is calling?
Freddie Eynsford Hill. If she doesn't remember me, tell her I'm the chap who was sniggering at her.
Yes, sir.
And would you give her these?
Yes, sir.
You needn't rush. I want to drink in this street where she lives.
Yes, sir.
I have often walked down the street before, but the pavement always stayed beneath my feet before. All at once am I several stories high, knowing I'm on the street where you live. Are there lilac trees in the Does enchantment pour out of every door? No, it's just on the street where you live. And oh, the towering feeling, just to know somehow you are near. The overpowering feeling that any second you may suddenly appear. People stop and stare, they don't bother me, for there's nowhere else on earth that I would rather be. Let the time go by, I won't care if I can be here on the street where you live.
Mr. Rainsford Hill.
Yes.
I'm terribly sorry, sir. Miss Doolittle says she doesn't want to see anyone ever again.
Why? She was unbelievable.
So I've been told. Is there any further message?
Yes, tell her I'll wait.
But it might be days or even weeks.
But don't you see I'll be happier here? People stop and stare, they don't bother me, for there's nowhere else on earth that I would rather be. Let the time go by, I won't care if I can be here on the street where you
Higgins, if there's any mishap tonight, if Miss Doolittle suffers any embarrassment whatever, it's on your head alone. I've been begging you to call off this experiment ever since Ascot.
Eliza can do anything.
But suppose she's discovered. Suppose she makes another ghastly mistake.
There'll be no horses at the ball, Pickering.
God, if anything happened tonight, I don't know what I'd do.
You could always rejoin your regiment.
Oh, Higgins, this is no time for flippancy. The way you've driven her these past 6 weeks has exceeded all the bounds of comedy. Oh, for God's sake, Higgins, stop pacing up and down. Can't you settle somewhere?
Have some port, it'll quieten your nerves.
I'm not nervous. Where is it?
Desk.
The car is here, sir.
Thank you, Mrs. Pierce. You helping Eliza?
Yes, sir.
Help her indeed. I'll bet the damn gown doesn't fit. I warned you about those French designers. You should have gone to a good English store where you knew everybody would be on our side. Have a little port.
No, thank you.
It'll quieten your nerves.
No, thank you.
Are you so sure that she'll retain all you've hammered into her?
We shall see.
But suppose she doesn't.
Then I lose my bet.
Do you know what I can't stand about you, Higgins? It's your confounded complacency. In a moment like this, with so much at stake, it is utterly indecent that you don't need a little port. What of the girl? You act as if she doesn't matter at all.
Oh, rubbish, Pickering, of course she matters. What could possibly matter more than to take a human being and change her into a different human being by creating a new speech for her? Why, it's filling up the deepest gulf that separates class from class and soul from soul. She matters immensely.
You look beautiful.
Thank you, Colonel Pickering.
Don't you think so, Higgins?
Not bad.
Mrs. Higgins. Well, she got past the first hurdle. The ambassador's wife was completely captivated.
I heard several people at the reception asking who she was.
Mrs. Higgins, do you think Eliza will make it?
I do hope so. I have grown enormously fond of the girl.
Professor Henry Higgins.
Maestro! Maestro, you remember me? Oh, no, I don't. Who the devil are you? I am your pupil. Your first, best, and greatest pupil. I am Zoltan Karpati, that marvelous boy. You teach me phonetics. I have made your name famous throughout Europe. You cannot forget me.
Where did you find all these old coins?
Decorations for language. The Queen of Transylvania is here this evening. I am indispensable to her at these international parties. I speak 32 languages. I know everybody in Europe. No impostor escaped my detection. And now, Professor, you must introduce me to this glorious creature you escort this evening. She fascinates everyone.
His Excellency D. Themistocles Stephanos.
This so-called Greek diplomat pretends he cannot speak English, but he does not deceive me. He is the son of a Yorkshire watchmaker. He speaks English so villainously he dare not utter a word of it without betraying his origin. I help him to pretend, but I make him pay for the nurse. I make them all happy.
Excuse me, sir. You are wanted upstairs. Her Excellency has asked for you.
Excuse me.
Higgins, don't let's risk it. Let's collect her and leave immediately.
Miss Eliza Doolittle.
Professor, good evening.
May I present Miss Eliza Doolittle?
How do you do?
How kind of you to let me come.
Not at all. Who is this charming girl you brought? Is she a relation?
Not of mine, no.
Find out who she is.
Your Grace is interested in Miss Doolittle? Yes. With pleasure.
Her Majesty the Queen of Transylvania and the Crown Prince.
It was an immense achievement.
A silly notion. If I hadn't backed myself to do it, I'd have chucked the whole thing up 2 months ago.
Absolutely fantastic.
A lot of tomfoolery.
Higgins, I salute you.
Nonsense. Silly people don't know their own silly business.
Tonight, and you did it, you did it, you did it. You said that you would do it, and indeed you did. I thought that you would rue it. I doubted you'd do it, but now I must admit it that succeed you did. You should get a medal or be even made a knight.
It was nothing. Really nothing.
All alone you hurled every obstacle in sight.
Now wait. Give credit where it's due. A lot of the glory goes to you.
But you were the one who did it. As sturdy as Gibraltar, not a second did you falter. There's no doubt about it. You did it. I must have aged in here tonight. At times I thought I'd die of fright. Never was there a momentary lull.
Shortly after we came in, I saw at once we'd easily win. And after that I found it deadly down.
You should have heard the oohs and ahs, everyone wondering who she was.
You'd think they'd never seen a lady before.
And when the Prince of Transylvania asked to meet her, and gave his arm to lead her to the floor, I said to him, you did it. They thought she was ecstatic, that's a damn good and they never knew that you
Thank heavens for Zoltan Karpathy. If it weren't for him, I would have died of boredom.
Karpathy, that dreadful Hungarian, was he there?
Oh, he was there all right. And up to his old tricks. That blackguard who uses the science of speech more to blackmail and swindle than teach. He made it the devilish business of his to find out who this Miss Doolittle is. Every time he looked around, there he was, that hairy hound from Budapest. Never leaving us alone, never have I ever known a ruder pest. Well, finally I decided it was foolish not to let him have his chance with her. So I stepped aside and let him dance with her. Oozing charm from every pore. He oiled his way around the floor. Every trick that he could play, he used to strip her mask away. And when at last the dance was done, he glowed as if he knew he'd won. And with a voice too eager and a smile too broad, he announced to the hostess that she was a fraud.
No.
You heard. Hair, English is too good, he said, which clearly indicates that she is foreign. Whereas others are instructed in their native language, English people aren't. And although she may have studied with an expert dialectician and grammarian, I can tell that she was born Hungarian! Not only Hungarian, but of royal blood! She is a princess! Congratulations! Professor for your glorious victory! Congratulations! Professor for your victory! The secret salutation to the Professor who sent the boy your glorious victory! The secret salutation to the Professor when you can see yourself as you are better than the feeling of me. All I can say is thank God it's all over. Now I can go to bed at last without dreading tomorrow.
Good night, Mr. Higgins.
Good night.
I think I shall turn in too. It's been a great occasion, a triumph for you. Good night.
Good night, Pickering. Oh, Mrs. Pierce! Damn. I meant to tell her I wanted coffee in the morning instead of tea. Take a little note for her, Eliza. The devil have I done with my slippers?
There are your slippers in there. Take your slippers and may you never have a day's luck with them.
What's the matter? Is anything wrong?
No, nothing wrong with you. I won your bet for you, haven't I? That's enough for you. I don't matter, I suppose.
You won my bet. You? Presumptuous insect, I won it. What did you throw those slippers at me for?
Because I wanted to smash your face. like to kill you, you selfish brute. Why didn't you leave me where you picked me out of in the gutter? Now you thank God it's all over. You can throw me back again there, do you?
So the creature is nervous after all. No, don't dare show your temper to me. Sit down and be quiet.
What is to become of me? What is to become of me?
How the devil do I know what's to become of you? What does it matter what becomes of you?
You don't care. I know you don't care. You wouldn't care if I was dead. I'm nothing to you. Not so much as them slippers.
Those slippers!
Those slippers! I didn't think it made any difference now.
May I ask whether you complain of your treatment here?
No.
Has anybody behaved badly to you? Colonel Pickering, Mrs. Pierce?
No.
You don't pretend that I have treated you badly?
No.
I'm glad to hear it. Perhaps you're tired after the strain of the day. Here, have a chocolate.
No! Thank you.
Anyway, it's all over now. There's nothing more to worry about.
Nothing more for you to worry about. Oh God, I wish I was dead.
Why, in heaven's name, why? Listen to me, Eliza. All this irritation is purely subjective.
I don't understand. I'm too ignorant.
It's only imagination. Nobody's hurting you. Nothing's wrong. You go to bed and have a little cry and say your prayers. That'll make you comfortable.
I heard your prayers. Thank God it's all over.
Well, don't you thank God it's all over? Now you're free and you can do what you like.
What am I fit for? What have you left me fit for? Where am I to go? What am I to do? What is to become of me?
Well, that's what's worrying you, is it? Why, I should imagine you won't have much difficulty in settling yourself somewhere or other. Though I hadn't quite realized you were going away. You might marry, you know. You see, Eliza, all men are not confirmed old bachelors like me and the Colonel. Most men are the marrying sort, poor devil. And you're not bad looking. Quite a pleasure to look at you at times. Not now, of course, you've been crying, you look like the very devil, but when you're all right and quite yourself, you're what I should call attractive. Come, you go to bed and have a good night's rest, and then get up and look at yourself in the glass and you won't feel so bad. I dare say my mother could find some chap or other who'd do very well.
We were above that in Covent Garden.
What do you mean?
I sold flowers. I didn't sell myself. Now you've made a lady of me. I'm not fit to sell anything else.
Oh, tosh, Eliza, don't insult human relations by dragging all that cant about buying and selling into it. You needn't marry the fellow if you don't want to.
What else am I to do?
Oh, lots of things. What about that old idea of a florist shop? Pickering could set you up in one. He's lots of money. You'll be all right. Oh, I really must clear off to bed. I'm devilish sleepy. Oh, by the way, I was looking for something. What was it?
Your slippers.
Oh, yes, of course. You shied them at me.
Before you go, sir.
Eh?
Do my clothes belong to me or to Colonel Pickering?
What the devil use would they be to Pickering?
You might want them for the next girl you pick up to experiment on.
Is that the way you feel towards us?
I only want to know what belongs to me and what doesn't. My own clothes were burned.
But what does it matter?
I want to know what I may take away with me. I don't want to be accused of stealing.
Stealing? You shouldn't have said that, Eliza. That shows a want of feeling.
I'm only a common, ignorant girl, and in my station I have to be careful. There can't be any feelings between the like of you and the like of me. Now, will you please tell me what belongs to me and what doesn't?
You may take the whole damned house full if you like, except the jewels, they're hired. Will that satisfy you?
Stop, please. Will you take these to your room to keep them safe? I don't want to run the risk of their being missing.
Hand them over! These belong to me instead of the jeweller. I'd ram them down your ungrateful throat.
This ring isn't the jeweller's, it's the one you bought me in Brighton. I don't want it now. Don't show it me!
It's you. You impudent devil, how dare you accuse me of such a thing? It is you who have hit me. You have wounded me to the heart.
I'm glad. I got a little of my own back anyhow.
You have caused me to lose my temper. A thing that has hardly ever happened to me before. I prefer to say nothing more tonight. I am going to bed.
You'd better leave your own note for Mrs. Pierce about the coffee, for it won't be done by me.
Damn Mrs. Pierce, and damn the coffee, and damn you, and damn my own folly in having lavished my hard-earned knowledge and the treasure of my regard and intimacy on a heartless gutter snipe.
Just you wait, Henry, it's just you wait. You'll be sorry, but your tears will be too late. You will be the one it's done to, and you'll have no one to run to.
Always stayed beneath my feet before. All at once am I several stories high, knowing I'm on the street where you live. Are there lilac trees in the heart of town? Can you hear a lark in any other part of town? Does enchantment pour out of every door? No, it's just on the street where you live. And oh, the towering feeling, just to know somehow you are near. The overpowering at any second you may suddenly appear. Darling.
What are you doing here?
Nothing. I spend most of my time here. Don't laugh at me, Miss Doolittle, but this is the
No, don't call me Miss Doolittle. Liza is good enough for me.
Where are you going?
To the river.
What for?
To make a hole in it. You don't think I'm a heartless gutter snipe, do you?
Oh, no, darling. How could you imagine such a thing? You know how I feel about you. I've written to you 2 and 3 times a day telling you. Sheets and sheets. Eliza, speak, and the world is full of singing, and I am winging higher than the birds. Touch, and my heart begins to crumble. The heavens tumble, darling, and
Words, I'm so sick of words. I give words will prove that from him now from you. Is that all you blighters can do? Don't talk of stars burning above. If you're in love, show me. Tending dreams filled with desire. If you're on fire, show me. Here we are together in the middle of the night. Don't talk of spring, just hold me tight. Everyone who's ever been in love will tell you that this is no time for a chat.
somebody else. Nick Partners.
Go get your taxi, miss. Lady like you shouldn't be walking around London this hour of the morning.
Thank you.
Good morning, miss.
Thank you, my good man. Here you go. Take the missus on a trip to Brighton. That's for you.
Thank you, Mr. Doolittle.
Look at this.
Father?
You see that, Harry? He sent her down here to spy on me in me misery, he did. Me own flesh and blood. Well, I'm miserable. All right, you can tell him that straight.
What are you talking about?
As if you didn't know. Go on back to that Wimpole Street Devil. Tell him what he's done to me.
What has he done to you?
He's ruined me, that's all. Destroyed me up in his... tied me up and delivered me into the hands of middle class morality. And don't you defend him. Was it him, or was it not him, that wrote to an old American blighter named Wallingford, who was given £5 million to found moral reform societies, and tell him the most original moralist in England was Mr. Alfred P. Doolittle, a common dustman?
That sounds like one of his jokes.
You might call it a joke, it put the lid on me right enough. That bloke died and left me £4,000 a year in his blooming will. Who asked him to make a gentleman of me, I was happy! I was free! A year ago, I hadn't a relation in the world, except for one or two who wouldn't speak to me. Now I'm 50. Not a decent week's wages amongst a lot of them. Oh, I have to live for others now, not for myself. Middle class morality.
Come on, Alfie. In a couple hours, you have to be at the church.
Church?
Yes, church. That's the deepest cut of all. Why do you think I'm dressed up like a ruddy pallbearer? Your stepmother wants to marry me. Now I'm respectable. She wants to be respectable.
But if that's the way you feel, why don't you give the money back?
Well, that's the tragedy of it. It's easy to say chuck it, but I haven't the nerve. We're all intimidated. Intimidated. You know, so that's what we are. And that's what I am. Bought up. That's what your precious professor brought me to.
He's not my precious professor.
Oh, sent you back, has he? Aha! First, he shoves me in the middle class, then he chucks you out for me to support you. All part of his plan. But you double-cross him. Don't you come home to me. Don't you take tuppence from me. You stand on your own 2 feet now. You're a lady now. You can do it.
Eliza, shall I get us a taxi?
Eliza, give me. I'll say now. You want to come see me turned off this morning, St. George's, Hanover Square, 10 o'clock. I wouldn't advise it, but you're welcome.
No, thanks, Dad.
All right.
Have you finished here?
finished here. Good luck, Dad.
Come on now, Lee. How much time have I got left?
There's just a few more hours. That's all the time you've got. A few more hours before they die and gone.
There are drinks and girls all over London, and I will track them down in just a few more hours. I'm getting married in the morning. Ding-dong, the bells are gonna chime. Pull out the stopper, let's have a whopper. Gonna get me to the church on time. I gotta be there in the morning. Spruced up and getting to crime. A girl's come and kiss me, show how you miss me. But get me to the church on time. If I am dancing, run up the floor. If I am whistling, whip me out the door. For I'm getting married in the morning. Ding-dong, the bells are gonna chime. Kick out parolas, but don't lose the contest. For God's sake, get me to the church on Drug me or jail me, stab me and wail
saying a word about it.
Well, I'm dashed.
What am I to do? I can't find anything. I don't know what appointments I've got. I got tea this morning instead of coffee.
Eliza would know.
Of course she would, but damn it, she's gone.
Did either of you gentlemen frighten her last night?
Well, you were there, Mrs. Pierce. We hardly said a word to her. Higgins, did you bully her after I went to bed?
Just the other way around. She threw the slippers at me. I never gave her the slightest provocation. The slippers came bang in my head before I uttered a word. And she used the most perfectly awful language. I was shocked.
Well, I'm dashed.
I can't understand it. She was shown every possible consideration. She admitted it herself.
Well, I'm dashed.
God's sake, Pickering, stop being dashed and do something. Call the police.
Mr. Higgins, you can't give Eliza's name to the police as if she were a thief or a lost umbrella.
Why not? I want to find her. The girl belongs to me. I paid £5 for her.
Quite right. Scotland Yard, please. Can I have some coffee, Mrs. Pearson? Good morning, old fellow. Colonel Hugh Pickering here. 27A Wimpole Street. I want to report a missing person. Eliza Doolittle. Yes, this is her residence. Between 3 and 4 in the morning? No relation at all. Let's just say a good friend. What the girl does here is our affair. Your affair is getting her back so she can continue doing it.
What in all of heaven could have prompted her to go after such a triumph at the ball? What could have depressed her? What could have possessed her? I cannot understand the wretch at all.
I say, Higgins, I have an old chum at the Home Office. Perhaps he can help. Yes, I'll call him. Whitehall 7244, please.
Women are irrational, that's all there is to that. Their heads are full of cotton, hay and rags. They're nothing but exasperating, irritating, vacillating, calculating, agitating, maddening and infuriating hags.
Hello, is Brewster Budge in there, please? Oh, could you ask him to call back? Thank you.
Pickering, why can't a woman be more like a man? Yes. Why can't a woman be more like a man? And men are so honest, so thoroughly square, eternally noble, historically fair. When you win, we'll always give your back a pat. Why can't a woman be like that? Why does everyone do what the others do? Can't a woman learn to use her head? Why do they do everything their mothers do? Why don't they grow up like their fathers instead? Why can't a woman just take after a man? Men are so pleasant, so easy to please. Whenever you're with them, you're always at ease. Would you be slighted if I didn't speak for hours?
Of course not.
Would you be livid if I had a drink or two?
Nonsense.
Would you be wounded if I never sent you flowers?
Never.
Why can't a woman be like you? One man in a million may shout a bit. Now and then there's one with slight defense. One perhaps whose truthfulness you doubt a bit. But by and large, we are a marvelous sex. Why can't a woman behave like a man? Men are so friendly, good-natured and kind. A better companion you never will find. If I were hours late for dinner, would you bellow?
Of course not.
If I forgot your silly birthday, would you fast? Nonsense. Would you complain if I took out another fellow? Why can't a woman be like us?
Hello? Hello, is Brewster Budge in there? Rosie. You'll never guess who this is. Yes, it is. Oh, what a George for the memory you've got. How are you, old fellow? It's so good to hear your voice again. 30 years, is it really? Yes, oceans of water. Lucy, old chap, something rather unpleasant has happened here. Could I come over and see you? Oh, good. I'll come at once. Thank you, Lucy. I'm going over to the Home Office, Mrs. Pierce.
I do hope you find her, Colonel Pickering. Mr. Higgins will miss her.
Mr. Higgins will miss her. Blast Mr. Higgins. I'll miss her.
Pickering! Pickering,
Martha, sir.
Ah, you see, Mrs. Pierce, I'm disturbed, and he runs to help. There's a good fella. Mrs. Pierce, you're a woman. Why can't a woman be more like a man? If I were a woman, it would be to all. Be hailed as a princess by one and by all. Would I start weeping like a bathtub overflowing, and carry on as if my home were in a tree? Would I run off and never tell me where I'm going? Why can't a woman be like me?
They just sat there and never said a word. Never thanked you or praised you or said how splendid you were.
Not a word.
That's simply appalling. I wouldn't have thrown his slippers at him, I would have thrown the fire irons.
Mother! Mother!
I knew it wouldn't take long. Stay where you are, Eliza.
Mother, where the devil are you?
And just remember, last night you not only danced with a prince, you were taken for a princess.
Mother, the damn is you.
How do you do, Professor Higgins? Are you quite well? But of course, you are never ill. Would you care for some tea?
Don't you dare try that game with me. I taught it to you. Get up and come home and don't be a fool. You've caused me enough trouble for one morning.
Very nicely put indeed. No woman could resist such a
How did this baggage get here in the first place?
Eliza came to see me, and I was delighted to help her. And if you don't behave yourself, I'm going to have to ask you to leave.
You mean I'm to put on my Sunday manners for this thing I created out of the squashed cabbage leaves of Covent Garden?
Yes, dear, that's precisely what I mean.
I'll see her damned first.
How did you ever learn manners with my son?
It was very difficult. I should have never known how ladies and gentlemen behave if it hadn't been for Colonel Pickering. He always showed me that he felt and thought about me as something better than a common flower girl. You see, Mrs. Higgins, apart from the things one can pick up, the difference between a lady and a flower girl is not how she behaves, but how she is treated. I shall always be a flower girl to Professor Higgins because he always treats me as a flower girl, and always will. But I know I shall always be a lady to Colonel Pickering because he always treats me as a lady, and always will.
Henry, dear, don't grind your teeth.
The vicar is here, ma'am. Shall I show him in?
The vicar and my son together in the same room, good heavens, no. Show him into the library. Eliza, if my son starts to break things, you have my full permission to have him evicted. Henry, dear, if I were you, I'd stick to two subjects, the weather and your health.
Eliza, you've had a bit of your own back, as you call it. Have you had enough? Are you going to be reasonable, or do you want any more?
You want to be back only to pick up your slippers and put up with your tempers and fetch and carry for you?
No. I think a woman fetching a man's slippers is a disgusting sight. I think a good deal more of you for throwing them in my face. Besides, I haven't said I wanted you back at all.
Oh. Indeed. Then what are we talking about?
About you, not about me. If you come back, I shall treat you just as I have always treated you. I can't change my nature, and I don't intend to change my manners. My manners are exactly the same as Colonel Pickering's.
That's not true. He treats a flower girl as if she was a duchess.
And I treat a duchess as if she was a flower girl.
Well, I see. The same to everybody.
Just so. The great secret, Eliza, is not having bad manners or good manners or any other particular sort of manners, but having the same manner for all human souls. The question is not whether I treat you rudely, but whether you ever heard me treat anyone else better.
I don't care mind you swearing at me. I don't mind a black eye. I've had one before this. But I won't be passed over.
Then get out of my way. I won't stop for you. You talk about me as if I were a motor bus.
So you are a motor bus. All bounce and go and no consideration for anyone. But I can get along without you. Don't think I can't.
I know you can. I told you you could. You never wondered, I suppose, whether I can get along without you.
Don't you try to get round me. You'll have to do without me.
And so I shall, without you or any soul on earth. But I shall miss you, Eliza. I've learned something from your idiotic notions. I confess that humbly and gratefully.
Well, you have my voice on your gramophone. When you're lonely without me, you can turn it on. It's got no feelings to hurt.
I can't turn your soul on.
Oh, you are a devil. You can twist the heart in a girl as easily as some can twist her arms to hurt her. What am I to come back for?
For the fun of it, that's why I took you on.
But you may throw me out tomorrow if I don't do everything you want me to.
Yes, and you may walk out tomorrow if I don't do everything you want me to.
And live with father?
Yes, or sell flowers.
If only I could.
Or would you rather marry Pickering?
I would marry you if you asked me, and you're nearer my age than what he is.
Than he is.
I'll talk as I like. You're not my teacher now. That's not what I want. And don't you think it. I've always had chats enough wanting me that way. Freddie Hill writes to me twice and 3 times a day, sheets and sheets.
Oh, in short, you want me to be as infatuated about you as he is that it?
No, I don't. That's not the sort of feeling I want from you. I want a little kindness. I know I am a common, ignorant girl, and you a book-learned gentleman, but I'm not dirt under your feet. What I done? What I did was not for the dresses and the taxis. I did it because we were pleasant together, and I came to care for you. Not to want you to make love to me, and not forgetting the difference between us, but more friendly, like.
Yes, of course. That's just how I feel. And how Pickering feels. Eliza, you're a fool.
That's not a proper answer to give me.
It's all you'll get until you stop being a common idiot. But if you're going to be a lady, you'll have to give up feeling neglected if the men you know don't spend half their time snivelling over you, and the other half giving you black eyes. But you find me cold, unfeeling, selfish, don't you? Very well, be off with you to the sort of people you like. Marry some sentimental hog or other with lots of money and a thick pair of lips to kiss you with and a thick pair of boots to kick you with. If you can't appreciate what you've got, you'd better get what you can appreciate.
I can't talk to you. You turn everything against me. I'm always in the wrong. But don't you be too sure you have me under your feet to be trampled on and talked down. I'll marry Freddie, I will, just as soon as I'm able to support him.
That poor devil couldn't get a job as an errand boy, even if he had the guts to try for it. Woman, do you not understand? I have made you a consort for a king.
Freddie loves me. That makes him king enough for me. I don't want him to work. He wasn't brought up for it as I was. Go and be a teacher.
What will you teach in heaven's name?
What you taught me. I'll teach phonetics. I'll offer myself as an assistant to that brilliant Hungarian.
What? That impostor, that humbug, that toadying ignoramus, teaching my methods, my discoveries. You take one step in that direction and I'll bring your nephew here.
Bring away, what do I care? I always knew you'd strike me one day. That's done you in really in the ties. No, I don't care that. For your bullying and your big talk. What a fool. What a dominating fool. To think you were the earth and sky. What a fool I
your mouth that I didn't put there.
There'll be spring every year without you. England still will be here without you. There'll be fruit on the tree and the shore by the sea. There'll be crumpets and tea without you. Art and music will thrive without you. Somehow Keats will survive without you. There still will be rain on that plain down in Spain. Even that will remain without you. I can do without you. You dear friend who talk so well. You can go to Harvard, Hereford, and Hampshire. We can still rule the land without you. Windsor Castle will stand without you. And without much ado, we can all muddle through without you.
You brazen hussy.
Without your pulling it, the tide comes in. Without your turning it, the earth can spin. Without your pushing them, the clouds roll behind. If they can do without your ducky, so can I. I will not be alone without you. I can stand on my own without you. So go back in your shell. I can do bloody well without.
By George, I really did it. I did it. I did it. I said I'd make a woman, and indeed I did. I knew that I could do it. I knew it. I knew it. I said I'd make a woman and succeed. I did. Eliza, you're magnificent. 5 minutes ago, you're a millstone around my neck. Now you're a tower of strength. I like you like this.
Goodbye, Professor Higgins. What you are to do without me, I cannot imagine.
What is it, Henry? What's happened?
She's gone.
Of course, dear. What did you expect?
What am I to do?
Do without, I'm afraid.
And so I shall. Very well, let her go. I can do without her. I can do without anyone. I have my own soul, my own spark of divine fire.
Bravo, Eliza.
I've grown accustomed to her face. She almost makes the day begin. I've grown accustomed to the tune. She whistles night and noon. Her smiles, her frowns, her ups, her downs are second nature to me now. Like breathing out, breathing in. I was serenely independent and content before we met. Surely I can always be that way again. And yet, I've grown accustomed to her looks, accustomed to her voice, accustomed to her face. Marry Freddie. What an infantile idea. What a heartless, wicked, brainless thing to do. But she'll regret it. She'll regret it. It's doomed before they even take the vow. I can see her now, Mrs. Freddie Eynsford Hill, in a wretched little flat above a store. I can see her now, not a penny in the till, and a bill collector beating at the door. She'll try to teach the things I taught her, and end up selling flowers instead, begging for her bread and water, while her husband has his breakfast in bed. In a year or so, when she's prematurely grey and the blossom in her cheek has turned to chalk, she'll come home and lo, he'll have upped and run away with a social climbing heiress from New York. Poor Eliza! How simply frightful! How humiliating! How delightful! How poignant it will be on that inevitable night when she hammers on my door in tears and rags. Miserable and lonely, repentant and contrite. Will I let her in or hurl her to the wolves? Show her kindness or the treatment she deserves? Will I take her back or throw the baggage out? I'm a most forgiving man. I sort never could, ever would take a position and staunchly never bite. Just a most forgiving man. But I will never take her back. If she were crawling on her knees, let her shiver, let her moan, let her promise to atone. I will slam the door and let the hellcat freeze. Marry Freddie! Ha! I'm so used to hear her say good morning every day. Her joys, her woes, her highs, her lows are second nature to me now. Like breathing out, breathing in. I'm very grateful she's a woman and so easy to forget. Rather like a habit one can always break. And yet, I've grown accustomed to the trace, something in the air, accustomed to her face.
I know what lessons cost as well as you do, and I'm ready to pay.
It's almost irresistible. She's so deliciously pale, so horribly dirty.
Man, were you dirty?
Eliza?
Place my hands before I come, I do.
Where the devil are my slippers?